For today's math lesson, you're going to need your math spiral and your math workbook and a pencil. So go ahead and get those out. I'm going to do something a little different today. First, I do want to make sure we have our whole body listening, which is not different. Abby and Haley, your ears are listening. Your brain is thinking about what Mrs. Aubin is saying. Your mouth is quiet. And I'm going to ask you to come sit all the way over there, Abby, okay? Thank you. Hands and feet are down and still, and your eyes are where? On the board or Mrs. Aubin. Awesome job. Okay. So I'm not going to start with my learning target today because I don't want to give it away. I want you guys to kind of discover what we're going to be talking about. So I will share my learning target, but not yet. I'm going to share my screen. You're going to need your math spiral and your pencil. We're going to start with a little bit of drawing and actually a little bit of review. So we're going to be looking at area and multiplication. So I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of drawing. I'm going to ask you to draw in your math spiral a 1 by 1 square. 1 by 1. Go ahead and draw that. And then I want you to help me find the area of this 1-inch square. No more. Start drawing. Awesome. Okay, as I come around, I see many people have already done it. That shouldn't have taken you very long, right? Now, find the area with a multiplication equation of this 1 by 1 square. For example, if I know there's 1 inch here and 1 inch here, and I know area equals length times width, how am I going to find the area of that square? So, Renee.
You're going to do the length, which is 1, and width, and multiply, and play it, and then you get
1 square inch. Okay? Now, I want you to draw while I make a 2 by 2 rectangle. 2 by 2. So I'm going to have 2. And then I'm going to have 2 here. So I've got 2 inches here on one side. And my other side length is also 2 inches, or my length and my width. Go ahead and draw that in your spiral and then find the area of that rectangle. Draw it. It'll help. So you should see. Good job, Miss Bird. You are on it. Looking good, Abby. Good stuff for you. Let's have you on the top now. I like it. Wow, you guys are really good at finding area. All right, Henrik, what did you get?
I got 4.
Henrik got 4. Give a thumbs up if you also got 4. How do you know the area equals 4 on this one?
My parents told me that
2 times 2 equals 4. So we've got 1 times 1 equals 1. 2 times 2 equals 4. And I'm kind of tying an area with this as well. There's a reason. I'm hoping you can figure it out once we do some noticings. Now I want you to draw, as I create, a 3 by 3 rectangle. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, 3 across, 3 down. Here's my quick array. And then I'm going to fill them in. And guess what I'm going to want you to find? The area. So you should have 3 inches on this side because these are 1-inch tiles, and 3 inches on this side. Your length and width are both 3 inches. What do you think the area of this rectangle, special rectangle, is going to be? Be careful, make sure it's a 3 by 3 and not a 2 by 4. So this is the last one I'm going to make you draw. That's the good news. All right, Marin, what did you get for area for this one? Can you explain your thinking? Okay, so what would the multiplication equation be? 3 times 3 equals 9. All right, before I do any more, what do you notice about all 3 of these rectangles, special rectangles? Think about it for a minute. I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to think. What do you notice about the equations we wrote, about the rectangles we drew or that I made? What do you notice? Give you a few seconds because I see a few hands, but I want everyone's hand to be up with some kind of noticing. All right, let's see. I'm going to pull out of my handy dandy can and hopefully get somebody in here. Finn, what do you notice either about our square, our special rectangles, or our equations? They all have equal sides. Yes. Excellent. So the green rectangle has 1 inch, 1 inch. This side must be 1 inch, right? Because the definition of a rectangle is opposite sides are equal. So if this side is 1 inch, this side must be 1 inch. If this side is 1 inch, we know this side is 1 inch. So the same goes for the blue rectangle, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Same for the red, 3, 3, 3, and 3. Excellent observation. Let's see if we can observe a little bit more. Madison, what else did we notice? They are all, if you did not hear Madison, she said they are all squares. So I called them rectangles. Is that okay? Why is that okay? Who can explain? Haley Booker?
Okay. It's okay because the squares and rectangles are both shapes and they're both united to each other.
Okay, so a square is a rectangle. It is a special type of rectangle because the definition of a rectangle, again, opposite sides are equal. Now, some rectangles are long and thinner, right? Like my book is in the shape of a rectangle. This side is longer than this side. but it's still a rectangle because this side and this side, which are opposite, are equal. This side and this side, which are opposite, are equal. But a square is special. Ben, do you want to share your thinking? I see your hand is raised.
So I noticed that at the top square it's 1, then at the bottom square it's 4, then at the very bottom one is 9.
So you're noticing the different answers, right? 1,
Yeah.
4, 9. Very good. And just to recap that, a square is a special rectangle that has all 4 sides equal, which is what Finn said. Anybody else at home notice anything with our equations? Jensen, can you unmute? What do you notice about our equations?
That it's always going up 1.
Say it one more time.
It's that the equations are always going up 1. So
Okay, we went up. The factors have gone up 1 each time because I did 1 by 1, a 2 by 2, and a 3 by 3. Excellent. Anybody else have something you noticed? Paxton. Do you guys understand what he's saying? All of these are multiplied by the same number. 1 is multiplied by itself. 1, right? 2 is multiplied by what? 3 is multiplied by 3. These are special equations. Now watch, go ahead and check this one out. I'm gonna make it, you're gonna write the equation. So this time it's a 4 by 4. You write the equation. You don't have to draw it because it takes too long. What do you think the equation would be for a 4 by 4, and I'm just gonna say it, square? And it's gotta get a few more. This is why I didn't want you guys to have to draw it. But go ahead and write the equation for the area of this special rectangle, which you might notice is also what Madison said the rest were. What are they all making? Why are they all making squares? Why do you think that? Gabe? What am I doing to make these squares instead of other type of rectangles? So I'm making sure I have 4 for my length and 4 for my width. And what is the equation going to be, Elena? Equals 16. So again, the same numbers like Paxton noticed, I'm multiplying 4 by itself, by 4. So anytime I multiply 2 numbers by themselves, I want you to make a prediction. What if I wanted to make a 5 by 5 rectangle? What type of rectangle do you think it would make? What do you think, Bird? What type of rectangle would it make if I added another row and another column to make this a 5 by 5? What do you predict? I would. What kind of rectangle would it make, do you think? If I added another row and another column, is it going to be a regular rectangle or is it going to be something special? It's going to make a square. Why is it going to make a square? Sunny? Because I'm making the side lengths the same. The length and the width are the same. So would you guys agree that anytime we multiply a number by itself, what shape is it going to make? It's going to make a square, which leads me to our learning target today. I figured you're going to have to see it to really understand what square numbers are. And we're going to be talking about, guess what? Square numbers. So what do you think square numbers are? Numbers that are made out of squares is one thing that I heard. Any other ideas what a square number might be, Finn? How did I get to that? So square numbers can have to do, you're right, can have to do with area. As we go on, I want you to think about what we just did. Square numbers are equations in multiplication that we use when we multiply two numbers that are the same, like 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3. We will get our answer, our product. But whatever that is, if I were to actually draw it out, make an array or a rectangle for the area, Josh, it would create what type of shape? A square. So we're going to hopefully understand what a square number is after this lesson and describe square number patterns in the multiplication table. And that's so we can solve real world math problems involving square number multiplications and divisions. So your success today will depend on exploring these and being able to tell what a square number is and give an example. We're also going to practice our count bys today. So let's see. Looking at our multiplication table, what do you think the square numbers are? The square numbers are going to be your products of the factors that are the same. Let me give you an example. We started with a 1 times 1, right? Equals 1. That's our first square number then is the product, which is 1. Here, maybe if I do this. So here's the equation. The square number is 1. 4 is also a square number. Why would I say 4 is a square number? What do you think, Cooper? Why would I say 4 is a square number? Because what do I know about the equation? The numbers are the same. When you multiply two numbers that are the same, your product is going to be considered a square number. That means that if you were to create it, it's going to create a square, just like we did with these tiles. Who can find another square number on our multiplication chart? I'll give you a minute. You're looking for two factors that are multiplied together that are the same. And I'm going to check my kiddos at home. Can anybody see another square number on our multiplication chart? Henry, can you unmute and tell us which one you see?
9.
9. Why is 9 a square number?
Because it's times by 3.
Excellent. 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 is a square number. Another one. Yes, Lennox. Oh, wow. He's gone all the way down. Let's see. Let's find. He's going down here. He said 64 is a square number. You're absolutely right. How do you know? So he's looking for a pattern He says it's like stairs going down, right? Coming here, here. Is this what you're seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, he sees some stairs happening. So that might help us find the rest of our patterns, Miss Lyric. Other square numbers, what do you see? So 16 is one of our square numbers, and that's because, what is the equation? 4 times 4. Excellent. Go ahead.
Mem and Claire, I got those two as well.
Okay, if you see any hands, I'd love to call on somebody at home.
They're mostly chatting.
Okay, August. 5 times 5 is the equation. What's the square number, though? 25 is actually called the square number. So it's the product is considered your square number. And the reason it's a square number is because you're multiplying 5 by 5 to get it. Excellent. Max, birthday boy. Happy birthday, by the way. I didn't get a chance to wish you a happy birthday. 49. All right. I love how you guys go all around. 49. Why is 49 square number? You're right.
Because it's times by itself.
Ooh, we haven't heard that language yet. Times by itself. That's good. 7 is multiplied by 7 by itself. Charlie Carr.
9 times 9.
Okay, and what's the square number?
81.
81 is your square number, and that's because you're multiplying 9 times 9. Fabulous, Mr. Levine. Okay, what's the square number? 36, and it's a square number because we're multiplying what? 6 times itself, right? 6 times 6. So just like Lennox was saying, we made a staircase. There's a nice little pattern going diagonal. If our multiplication table went further with the tens, what do you think the next one would be? Tell your neighbor. What would the next one be? And you guys write it in the chat. What would the next square number be in our staircase? Write it in the chat. I'm looking for it.
See the chat.
Are they answering?
Yeah, some of them are right and some of them are not.
I would love to hear from Lila. Lila Morris, would you mind unmuting and tell us what the next square number would be?
Do you mean like circled or do you mean underlined?
Either one. How about both?
Okay, then it would be 7 times 7,
All right, but
which would equal 49.
all right, I'm gonna guide you a little, Lila. We got the 1 times 1 is 1. We have 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 4, girls, is 16. 5 times 5 equals 25. 6 times 6 equals 36. 7 times 7 equals 49. 8 times 8 equals 64. 9 times 9 equals 81. What would the next one be? What's after 9?
10 times 10 is 100.
There it is. Good job, Lila. You got it. How many of you agree and gave the same answer? Give her sparkles. Sparkles for you, Lila. Good job. So any number times itself will give you a square number. The product will be your square number. Okay, moving right along. 121. All right, in your math workbook, and I'm going to give you the page. Ben is my buddy who always lets me look. It's written on there, but then it goes away. We are going to go to page 111. 111. 111. We're gonna do a couple of these together. It's 111. Let me write it on the board for you. 111, page 111. It looks like a lot of what? Squares. Hence our learning target about square numbers. This is just how we started, right? 111. All right, you see the example. Number 1 is the same thing I did with the tiles. This is a 1 by 1 square. So 1 times 1 equals 1. Now let's do the second one together. What would we write for the equation to show the area of number 2? What do you think, Lyric? 2 times 2 equals 4. Now double check your work. How can I double check my work, Lucas? How am I going to make sure that's right? Because these are going to get really big. You actually can count the squares to find area. 1, 2, 3, 4. All area is the space within the sides, right? That's the area. So always double check your multiplication. Count them. How crazy to get it wrong. If you have a picture, you could actually count them. Or if you only did counting, that could be wrong too, because some of these have a lot. So use multiplication to check your counting. You should be using 2 strategies when finding area. All right, I see hands are up. We're just going to do the first 4, then you're going to do the rest. They get challenging with a partner. Madison, you want to do number 3? What do you think it's going to be? 3 times 3 equals 9, because you have 3 here, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3 here, length and width. A 3 by 3 rectangle is actually a square, right? And if I count, I know 3 3s are 9, but let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have gotten 9. And if you want to be really fancy, you can put square units. Wouldn't that be great? Make your teacher so happy. But what are we noticing about all of these equations? Serene, what do you notice? What's happening? 1 times 1. 2 times 2, 3 times 3.
Okay, I'll go all by 1.
Yeah, they're all multiplying by themselves, which tells me these are all what kind of shape? They're all squares. These are your square numbers that we just talked about. Remember here? 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. Look at that diagonal if you need some help. I'm going to let you do one more with me, and then I'm going to set you free. Who thinks they can do the next one? Marin. So here's where it gets tricky. Sometimes we don't know the answer, do we? We're going to have to use our strategies. What can you do to find out what 4 times 4 equals? You could check the chart, but what if you didn't have the chart? Marin, what should you do? Yeah, we could count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I got 16, but I'm not sure that's right. I don't have that memorized. What else might I do to double check it? What do you think, Abby?
I guess I count or look at.
Okay, so we talked about those. Can I do anything with these?
Yes.
What can I do, Abby? What would I count by?
4.
I could count 4 times, couldn't I? Let's do it. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I could count on my fingers. If I get a 9, square, a 9 by 9, I could use the 9 strip. I could do a 5 shortcut if I got a 6 by 6 or a 7 by 7. All right, we did the first 4 together. I'm going to have you do the rest, which are the hard ones, with a partner. You need to make sure you have the equation and that you have square units for each one. And actually, you know what? I don't know. Do we need a partner? I don't think we need a partner. If you feel you do, you could, but I think, are we okay at home? I think we can do this quickly. That's what I'm finding. Perfect. Sit down.
What do I do now?
You listen. Sit down. Thank you. Okay, guys, here we go. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to finish. I'm going to circulate the room. I want you to, if you already finished, I have a funny feeling you didn't double check your work. So I'm going to ask you to double check your work if you already finished. I'm going to check in. I'm going to check in with my in-person students, give you a couple minutes, and then we'll check our work. Also, add your square units. Make sure you don't just have the product, but you have the equation. You know what makes me so happy? That you guys got this because you did it so quickly. That shows me you understand what a square number is. Right there on your name. Can you add square units? Add your square units. Check this one out.
I got it done yesterday.
All right.
I'm the first one to understand.
Yeah.
I have a couple suggestions about it, or as a home that could give you some answers.
Let's do it right now.
All right, Robert and Jensen and Ben all have.
Okay, Robert, can you do number 5 for us?
5 times 5 equals 25.
Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 5 equals 25. Thank you, Robert. Okay, number 6, Jensen.
Working on it. Tell him to actually unmute.
Unmute, Jensen. We can't hear you.
6 times 6 equals 36.
6 times 6 equals 36. Awesome. All right, number 7, Ben.
So I know this. So this one was kind of hard for me. So I counted all the squares, and I got 7 times 7 equals 49 square inches.
Awesome, Ben. I'm so proud of you for your honesty and your strategy. So I don't know if you heard Ben, but he said it's a little tough. Because that's the new one, not one we just learned yesterday. So a lot of you don't have that memorized. But he counted the squares. Good job. Anybody else? Haley, I saw have her hand up earlier. Haley Calendar, would you be willing to share for number 8?
8 times 8 equals 64.
Excellent. I ate, and I got sick on the floor. 8 times 8 equals 64. Lucas. 9 times 9 equals 81. No chance for that. And then the one that we predicted, how about Lila Mara's? Lila, this is the one we predicted. Which one is it for number 10?
10 times 10 equals 100.
Excellent. That's the one you got to come next, and there it is. All right, if you were to tell what a square number is, I want you to think about that in your head. If I asked you, hey, what's a square number? Let's pretend somebody was absent today, and you had to explain to them what a square number is. What would you say? Think about it for a minute. What would you say? And then I'm going to let some people share their thinking. Ready? All right. I'm going to let Ellie tell us what she thinks a square number is. And then I want to see if you guys want to add on, agree, disagree, in a nice way, of course. Come on up here, Ellie. You got to talk to my remote kiddos, too. She's going to tell us her thoughts. Get as close as you can. There. What is a square number?
I would tell them that it's just like 7 times 7. It's just multiplying by the same number.
Okay, I like how she said 7 times 7. She gave an example, but remember, that's the equation, but the square number is actually the product. So what is the square number in that example?
49.
So 49 is a square number because you multiply 7 by itself, right? Times 7. All right. Haley Booker. What do you think a square number is?
I think a square number is like just basically it's just like a number multiplied by itself with like squares in each row.
So I love how you said a number multiplied by itself, and if you were actually to draw it, it would make a square. Excellent. Serne. I'm wondering if you guys are agreeing or disagreeing with my friends. Give me thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down. Katie, thank you. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to move on. What would you tell our absent friends to explain what a square number is? Go close to my computer.
5 times 5 would be like 25 because if you could count by 5s 5 times, and then whatever your answer is, it would be the square unit, or you could also like count the square.
So I think you're explaining area, how to find area, which is such a good thing to know, but what would a square number actually be?
Like this.
The product.
The product of the area of the square.
Okay, and it would have to have 2 numbers multiplied by themselves by itself. All right, let's move on. I think you guys are getting it. I think you're understanding what a square number is. That's one of our success criteria, was that you could actually describe what it is, explain it to somebody, because you're going to get to do that today, but not yet. All right. So we kind of did this as a class, but on your next page on 112, you are going to see the multiplication table. So go ahead and turn to page 112 in your math workbook. And this time I want you to circle just the products, because the products are actually the square numbers. So we did it with the equation as well. Now that we've seen the pattern, do you think you can find the square numbers on the multiplication table? So we can list them up at the top. We don't have to. We said, remember, 1 times 1 was our first one. What was 1 times 1? What was 2 times 2? What was 3 times 3? 4 times 4? 5 times 5? 6 times 6? 7 times 7? 8 times 8? 9 times 9? 10 times 10? So
100.
yes, these are your square numbers. These are square numbers right here. Those are our square numbers, the answers, the products. Now, see if you can find them and circle them in the multiplication chart. I bet you've already done it. Finn, can you show me? Write them up here. List them there. Right here. List them first. I think if you write them, it's just going to help you learn them. I tell you, when I was in college, I had to write notes. I highlighted my textbooks. I wrote notes on index cards. I ate bowls and bowls of popcorn and drank tons of soda. And then read those cards again and again and again and again so that I could pass my test and learn it, right? So I know it. So writing things, circling things, reading them, that helps us. So make sure you're following. I'm not just trying to get you to tire out. I actually want you to learn it. So, honey, I want you to do this, okay? Write those down. Write them up here. Write them at the top, too. I think that's going to help you. You can circle them in your multiplication. Thanks so much. Can you write them up here? That's going to help you. Nice, Henrik. Wow, great job following directions, too. Awesome. What kind of line did it make, Abby? What kind of line? Did it make a horizontal line, a vertical line, or a diagonal? What kind of line would you call it? What is that called? Well, let's think. Horizontal, like the horizon, where the sun meets the sky, right, or the water, right? I'm thinking of Florida when I watch the sunset. Vertical is how I'm standing. Diagonal is how I am when you guys leave. Side, right, diagonal. You should have found it. Diagonal line. Thumbs up and home. How'd we do? Isn't it beautiful?
I'm going to Harbor Island.
All right.
The house that I slept in was right across the road was a beach.
Okay, Lucky. So we're just going to practice real quick. I'm going to write it. You guys are going to help me. You're going to say it. 1 times 1 is the same as 1 times 1 equals? 2 times 2. 3 times 3. Oh, be careful. I've done that too. You want to say 6 because you're thinking addition. 3 groups of 3. Think of it as repeated addition. 9. 4 times 4.
16.
5 times 5. 6 times 6. 7.
49. 64.
Got a little crazy. I have to slow down. Woo, let's
$81. 100. 100.
let's say them
100.
4, 16, 25, 36, 64, 81, 100.
100. Yay.
Give me 1 minute. All right. Now, if we know that, we can also learn the inverse, right? If 1 times 1 is 1, 1 divided by 1 equals 4 divided by 2 equals 9 divided by 3 equals 16
3.
equals
4.
25 divided by 5 equals
5.
36 divided by 6 equals
6.
49 by 7 equals
7.
wait till I say it, divided by 8 equals
Equals 8.
81 divided by 9 equals
9. 9.
divided by 2 equals
10. 10. 10.
10. So inverse, if you learn these square multiplications, you can use the inverse operation to help you with your division. Charlie, can I hold buddy listening? Thanks, buddy. All right, you guys are rocking it with square numbers. What are these called again? I am very happy you didn't say circle numbers. I was worried. I don't know what a circle number is.
But how do you make me? You multiply a number by yourself. Just like 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9, and we're square numbers. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 7 is 49. 8 times 8 is 64. 9 times 9 is 81. 2 times 10 is 100. 11 times 11 is 21. 12 times 12 is 144. We are square numbers.
What shape did they make?
A square.
Yes.
36. 49.
Good job, guys.
64. 81. 100.
There you go.
121. 144. 144.
Good job, Robert. Good job. So guess what you get to do today? I am very curious. Quickly give me your thermometer. How are you feeling about square numbers? And then I will get to see. I see a couple sideways thumbs. I see a lot of double thumbs. I see you, Haley. We'll keep working on these. I see you. Ben, you really got this. Lila, you're feeling okay? Double thumbs from Astria. Here's what we're going to do. Henry, I see you're sideways. All right, so listen up. If you are sideways, just remember, any number times itself equals a square number. When you multiply the same number by itself, right, Haley? You will get a square number. The answer to that multiplication equation is a square number. Your examples, like 1 times 1 is 1, right? 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is a square number. 9 is a square number. 16 is a square number. 25 is a square number, and so forth. So here's what I'm asking you to do. If you are in person, you're going to get your exit ticket. It is exit ticket number 7. You are going to give an example of a square number. And then you're going to explain why it is a square number. You can choose any of them. I don't care if you choose 1, 3, I don't care which one. I'm 4, sorry, 1, 4, 9, whatever one you want to choose. But you have to tell why it is a square number. Explain it just like we did earlier.
Use your words.
Use words, that's why it says explain. Now, if you are a remote learner, you are going to find this in classwork, and I want you all to listen very carefully. It is in the math section for today's lesson, and today is Wednesday. So Clara, I want you to look at this. Leo, look at this, because I want to make sure you remember how to do this, because I need you to turn it in, right? This is how I get part of your math grades, and this is how I can help you when I find out you're not understanding what square numbers are. When you click on your assignment, you'll see today's Google Slides, which you are welcome to look at again if you need some help. And on the left, you'll see exit ticket 7. All you have to do is click on it. You can type directly on this Google document. Put your cursor over here. You're going to type your answer. I just made that up. You don't want to do that. And then you will see an option to share or turn in. I don't want you to share it with me. No, 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 no. I want you to turn it in. What are we going to do? Turn it in. Thank you, in-person people. Okay, and then here's what I'd like you to do. Go on to Think Central and work on your assignment. It's 2.6. If you're not done with 2.5, you can do that first. And I want you to get some Think Central time in, because I am ending a little bit early, okay? So see if you can work a little bit on Think Central once you get your exit ticket done, because you still have a good 20 minutes, okay? Any questions? If you have any questions, let me know now so I can help you.
Bye.
That's where it is. Yep. It's in that cabinet in a blue thing. Under lyric. You're right. Go down second shelf. There it is. Can't wait to see what you write.